Hello again, Andy with Handy Andy Handyman, Handy Andy on Demand. Welcome back to another project run through, and we're out today for some real estate clients of ours. Their buyer has this house under contract, so we're going to be looking at a few things. It's in a great Johns Creek, Alpharetta neighborhood, and it just needs some help. It's not quite as bad as the inspector kind of may have thought, so we'll go through it. All typical maintenance stuff. They've recently painted the house, so they've covered over a few things. One of the things the inspector didn't pick up, I don't think, or maybe has, but this header across the top of the garage right here was replaced with pressure treated wood, which is great, but it's perfectly horizontal. It's actually tilted back towards the house. So with a stucco house, all that water is going to be getting in this way. So this actually needs to, we may not need to pull it out and replace it, but we're probably going to have to cut that back edge of the stucco all the way across through here. And bevel plane this thing down and then seal it so the water will shed to the front like it should. Both of the corners, because they didn't clean their gutters, and when you have corners like this, it's hard to see it, but if you go back to the inspector's report, if you are the buyer or the seller here, you'll see there's 2 screws in the bottom of this corner. We're racing today. We've got a whole bunch of storms coming, and plus we're running out of gas in Atlanta, so it is what it is. You probably want to change this electrical fixture while we're at it, but this soffit fascia is rotted. We can seal this gutter if we need to. When you have corners done like that, all the builders do it, and they just never seal those things. You don't have to replace them. You just need to reseal every 5 years, so it's something we can do. This gutter was clogged for a while, so it's actually pulled off the house. It's not rotted, and about 2/3 of the gutters are still good, but this section right over here, running around the right side of the house and all the way around to the rear, and then the rear section over the rear gutter, both need to be replaced, and we do that as well. The painters actually did a decent job, and it's rare that I say that. If the buyers want to change the color, we can repaint, hand paint. The bay window gets a lot of abuse. Some of the moisture that the inspector found in this corner right here is a combination of this area here isn't sealed well, and there's no kick out flashing at this gutter. So any water that gets past this downspout is coming right through this sidewall. It's not a lot, but it adds up and it can't get out. And then the issue with the bay windows is always this underside edge. It's hard to see it very well, and the camera's focusing on my finger when I do that, but you have to seal the bottom edge of this mansard roof. We can paint it, seal it. The soffit's been replaced once already, and it's just wrong. So we would replace this again, probably with Hardy board, which is an aggregate concrete product that we like to use in these applications, and then seal it. You can see the gaps here in the corner in the stucco. If you look carefully in this, right underneath here, you'll see that dark circle, and you can actually see a black line all the way around that bottom edge. So water is getting in that area in a driving rain. And then the problem with the mansard roof is it should be sitting over this edge. So whoever did the soffit replacement there just didn't do a good job. About 2% of capillary action every time it rains. Water comes under that metal lip, goes back up in the inside and comes down the frame. And that's what leads to the rot you see here. Like this window sash right here is totally rotted through. They puttied it. They probably just painted this, in recent months. Whenever you do Bondo like that, the wood fungi that cause wood rot are anaerobic, and so you seal it over and it'll just rot through. So we'll actually have to cut that out and get into the frame over here of the sash. We're like dentists. We router out the bad wood until we get to good wood, and then our carpenters piece in with actual wood that's back primed and sealed on all 6 faces so it won't rot again. And then this little top piece across here that holds the window in place is called a mullion. That's rotted out as well. It's hard to see it here. I can't get in here. You should always have 2 foot clear all the way around these bushes. People stop doing it. But we're going to have to replace the nose on this window and the nose on this window as well. A bunch of the noses have rotted, and again, it's because when they paint and install this stuff, they only paint what you see. So like if you look at this nose, you see the top and the face. So that's 2 faces out of 6. So that means there's 4 raw faces of unpainted or unprimed and sealed wood that's going to absorb moisture just like the sponge on your sink. We may have to replace this next nose up here on the second window above. Couldn't really tell from the ground. It's hard to see it in this video. I can't step back enough, but this attic window needs to be reglazed, and the nose is rotted there. When you get to the entry, the inspector noted it. They don't have this sealed at all around this rock veneer, and it's always like that on all these houses. I can take you to a $2 million house I was at the other day. It's the same issue. The left and right outside frames are rotted, and the inside frames, we can piece those back in. We get so mad because so many times customers are told when the frame's rotted like this, you got to replace the whole door. And that's just a lazy contractor, doesn't have the skills and just wants you to spend a lot more money. It's silly to do that. Handy Andy's been maintaining houses for almost 30 years in Atlanta. long history of this stuff. The nose on this window right here is a triple window. That nose needs to be replaced. The nose above, you can kind of see the rot over in this corner right here. Just replace that as well. The stucco's in great shape from everything that I see. Anywhere you've got a regular outlet like here, we need a weather box and a GFCI outlet. Fortunately for us, we've got a great team of workers. We've been doing this stuff forever. We do about 5 to 10 of these inspection report projects a week for realtors all over the metro Atlanta area. We're actually starting to open some new locations, so stay in touch with us. If you're watching this video and you have a family member who's a great construction worker or just likes this business, put them in touch with us, because we're always in need of good workers that want to grow. And now we're excited because we'll be putting 2 of our workers into their own locations this year. So pretty exciting. The basement window right here, you can see where they puttied over when they just painted. And for some reason, I don't know why they did these separately. They didn't paint this, so maybe they did this later on. I don't really know. But whenever you have Bondo like this, it's got to be cut out. So we actually need to replace the whole left stick here and the whole right stick. You can see everywhere they tried to putty it. Now it's rotted through and is breaking through. So we just got to pull those out. The top one as well is puttied right here. So when we replace all 3 of these, then we can flash this window properly. This wood's already all been replaced once already. And you can see where they never even flashed the window. There's no metal flashing up here at all. And they did the flashing wrong. So you can see these windows over here. Next time we paint, you see the gap around this edge right here. See the metal flashing ends almost flush with the end of the brick mold. It should be out 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches past it. Same contractor made these repairs here with horizontal cuts. It's going to start rotting right out again, so rework both of those. You always want a weather cut. So if you're going to do this kind of work, nothing wrong with piecing in. We do it all the time to save our customers money, but you want to make a weather cut at a 45 and make sure, and we'll show you if we do this project, when we pull these pieces out, you'll see that all they painted is what you see. So the rest of it's raw wood. It's going to trap moisture, and you can see the caulk has already failed right here. See the black line? So I hate it. It's hard to find good contractors. On this side, they didn't even bother with this window, but the double window to the right of the basement door, that nose needs to be replaced. Part of the brick mold here. And we'll do that as well. We don't have the limitations a lot of contractors have. Contractors are complaining right now they can't get this nosing material. The truth is, most of the nose you would buy at Home Depot or Lowe's will not fit a good chunk of these windows. So we make it on site. If you look at our video I think we posted earlier this week, it's exactly what we're doing for a customer over in Roswell. Here, the last contractor tried to piece in hardy plank siding. You can't do it, and you see why. See the difference in the dimensions right here? So it's already starting to rot, and this siding is rotted through. If I go in and push on that kind of beveled edge right there, my hand will go right through it. So we'll replace these 3 rows all the way across. GFCI outlet in a weather box here. And again, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's really not. When you come back out on a sunny day, the painters did a really nice job on this siding for them. They caulked a lot of it up. Over time, they may have a few more edges go bad, but if you look across the face of the siding, it's hard to do it on this camera phone. But the bow in the siding is not the siding, it's the framing on the house. If you look at the bottom edge shadows, the blackness on the bottom of the siding, it's uniform all the way across. So it has swollen a little bit, but it's actually all in pretty good shape. All the way through here as well. This inset window right here, the right brick mold is rotted, so we can repair that. We can also, if they want, we can rework. The railroad ties are in good shape. They're just getting eroded because all the water is coming off this back hill and around the side of the deck, and there's 2 gutters that drop right on the other side of that chimney. We can run a drainage system and pick those gutters up and run it, and I'll show you in a second. We're going to run it back behind that tree. It's going to be a headache to do it, but if you try to bring it down here, like where it's going right now, it's just eroding everything, and it's actually moved. Excuse me. A lot of this dirt in this area has moved and pushed against the house. So you really want 4 to 6 inches clear against your siding here, just for termites. But you can see the weather pattern here. We've had so much rain, it's just been awful. The gutter that I pointed out earlier runs out all the way around to this chimney up here, right in here. So that's all part of the gutter that needs to be replaced. These other ones are okay. The chimney siding is completely shot. All the chimney siding needs to be replaced. And we'll replace it with grained hardy plank siding. It's just for years it didn't get caulked, and then these last painters came through, tried to caulk it. They caulked over rotted wood, something you never do. Both of these noses are chipped up on these 2 windows back here. I personally would go ahead and replace them. These are the downspouts that I'm talking about. So we'd actually trench through this area right here, my guys are not going to like it, but we're going to trench right through this line here, come across this planting area, and get to the other side of that tree over there. And that way it's not draining down in here. All 3 or 4 of these neighbors have the same issue with water. We get up on the deck. Deck's in great shape. This is old growth wood. You want to save it. I wouldn't do anything with it. I would add a pressure treated flashing plate along the house to keep that water from getting in against the sill plate. There's a little bit of rot, and you can see they haven't done a good job on the gutters. This right rear gutter all has to be replaced. Right there, they pieced it in before. Never piece in a gutter like that. It's always going to rot out. Don't be cheap on your gutters. They're not that expensive, I promise you. Manage your water, or it'll manage you. We'll change this outlet to a GFCI as well. We'll add a threshold support underneath this door and repair the rotted brick mold on the left and right sides. The last piece of siding replaced is right above this window right here and across the doors. You can see where the flashing again was folded or cut short. So see the crack right here? Water's just wicking in there. This is LP siding. It's wood chip siding. There's nothing inherently defective in this siding. And if you look at the bottom edges of it, it's all nice and tight and uniform. The painters, like I said, did a really good job. They just puttied over stuff they should have replaced. Here they should have replaced this piece of siding. It's soft. I can almost put my finger through it. And again, you can see where the flashing is cut short. So when we replace a piece like this, we'll replace the flashing on this window, this door, and this window over here. This gutter is a little trickier. We'll have to figure out a way to drain this away from the house. And we can talk to the homeowner about that once they buy the house. But overall, like I said, it seems like a lot of work. It's really not. A lot of it is maintenance work or stuff that the builder just never did right. And the lot's a little tricky. You know, back here you can see they had a burial pit back here and water's draining into this area. You know, they could turn it into like I would turn it into a garden pond and have a nice little pond coming off here. And I might even drain my downspout back towards it or something. I'm not sure. Or we can drain this downspout to the right and do something cooperatively with this neighbor over here. You can see how he's getting water trapped down in his yard, and his side yard is a muddy mess. Be a little bit hard up over here to see what we're looking at, but this master window, we can trim the trees away from the house. They got a brand new roof on it, which is great. Both sides of this master bath window, the left and right moldings are both rotted out. And that kind of takes you through a run through of what we got here. A lot of little inside, you know, small things that we need to address. We'll do that in the bid. But like I said, the siding's in a lot better shape than I thought it would be. So I'm Andy with HandyANdy. My brother and I have been doing this for almost 30 years in Atlanta. Just be patient with us. We run all over the place. We do pretty much everything on the houses. Any kind of wood trim repairs, decking, siding, painting, kitchen, bathroom models, basements. It's crazy some of the stuff we see out here. We just talked to a customer yesterday who was ready to sign an $80,000 repair ticket that she really needs about $10,000 worth of work. So a lot of unscrupulous people out here running. But just be patient with us. We do a little bit of everything. You can reach us in the office, 770-912-2829. Sometimes you can catch me on my phone at 770-265-9017. I'm Andy. See you at the next house. Bye for now.